XRP, Ripple, and the SEC. What's the next steps? I got you covered. Paying the fines and appeals? Yep, price action at the end. Along with BTC price manipulation having effects on the rest of the market. And what if I told you that the odds of Kamala winning, no, not the polls, but the betting odds have Kamala ahead of Donald Trump?
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Happy Saturday, everyone, and hopefully your Friday was good, and hopefully the weekend is even better. Welcome new viewers and old friends, and before we get to the heat map, you know the deal. Your comments come first. Drop me something hot, something spicy. Maybe I'll share it in the next video. Can you tell I'm amped up? It's because I've got a super long run to do after this video, and it's already hot AF out. XRP 3295 says, XRP in the decision is disappointing. They say buy the dip, but that's all we ever see. It's all manipulation. Rudy Poo's hanging out with us saying huge news, but tiny price. I couldn't agree more. Trucker Trash says when utility becomes the value driver, the manipulation will cease. Have a great day. A lot of you thinking about manipulation, and I've got an article to share with you about Bitcoin manipulation. And you know how Bitcoin tugs the rest of the market both up and down. Heat map? Hell yeah, it's Saturday morning. Cartoons? A little old for that, but could be fun. Bitcoin's in at 60,784 with ETH is 2622. BNB's at 516, clawing its way back quite healthily. Sol at 154. XRP at 59.8 with XLM at 10.1. Ton clawing its way back at 667. Okay, I'm clearing this up now. This is not a poll. For those of you that put in the comments, don't trust the polls, bro. Well, maybe you should trust your fucking ears a little bit more and listen. This is the betting lines. This is the money. Follow the money, okay? Anyone can say whatever they want, but when they start putting skin in the game, that's when shit gets real. Trump was up like 66% to like Biden's whatever 30-something. It was crazy. But then Biden got swapped for Kamala. Then Kamala picked Waltz. Then Kamala started saying, oh, we're going to work with crypto. Blah, 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 blah. Long story short, check it out. Kamala Harris, a 51% chance of winning. Trump has now slid down to 46%. There is over $500 million on this bet in one site. One site. That's right, everyone. So no, it's not a poll, it's betting. Follow the money. Massive BTC sell orders spark fears of manipulation. Data from various tracking tools, including Cointelegraph, Markets Pro, and TradeView, show that Bitcoin's recent rally, which saw prices reach a high of 62,775, lost momentum. The sudden resistance above 62,000 left traders wondering if this is part of a deliberate strategy. One key indicator of this possible manipulation comes from the Binance order book. Where large sell orders between 61,200 and 62,500 were detected. Monitoring service CoinGlass highlighted the suspicious nature of these orders, noting that 12,000 BTC, equivalent to nearly $750 million, was placed for sale at these levels, raising questions behind the intent of these moves. Popular analyst Dan Crypto observed an imbalance in liquidity on Binance with significantly more sell orders and buy orders. He noted that this setup could suppress Bitcoin's volatility in the short term, trapping the price within narrow range. This is a phenomenon called spoofing, where large traders, yep, whales and manipulators out there, place orders to manipulate the market's perception of supply and demand. All right, we've talked about market manipulation. We've talked about betting odds. Let's talk about what's next for Ripple, XRP, and the SEC. Ripple versus SEC, the new chapter. All right, this is how it's playing out. I'm going to share with you dates. I'm going to share with you what's going to be coming up next, likelihoods of stuff, and then XRP price action at the end. So first, Brad came out, okay? And Brad said, hey, the SEC asked for $2 billion and the court reduced their demand by 94%. This is what he says. We respect the court's decision and have clarity to continue growing our company. This is Brad saying, hey, look, we are not going to appeal the penalties phase. All right, Brad is like, look, we're happy with the penalties. No worry on appeals there. But remember, Ripple, Brad, and the crew, along with the SEC, can appeal the ruling made in July of 2023. The initial summary judgment ruling, they can appeal that. They can appeal the institutional sales. Just like SEC can appeal towards his ruling that secondary sales are not securities. Okay, now I'm going to give you some timelines. But first, let's go with Stewart. Stewart said the same thing, okay? She rejects the SEC's absurd demand of $2 billion in fines and penalties. We respect the $125 million fine that the court has imposed. So even Stewart, chief legal officer of Ripple, is saying, yo, we're good with the penalties. Now, here's the issue with that, okay? The reason Ripple would not want to appeal is who would approve a Ripple IPO? The SEC. What would happen if there was an appeal? It would get dragged out even longer, cost even more money, and keep more money on the sidelines. Would that benefit Ripple? No, it wouldn't. Now check this out. Bill Morgan comes out, okay? And I got to be honest with you. I read the SEC's comment to you in the video a few days ago. The SEC's comment was the same thing. We're happy with the outcome of the penalty, but they could always go and appeal secondary sales. This is what Bill Morgan said. Now, Bill Morgan is usually a glass half empty kind of guy. Okay, just throwing it out there, usually a little bit negative. Bill Morgan says, I agree. Both sides will likely appeal. Damn it, Bill, shut the fuck up. All right, are you ready? Here's the dates now, and this is where shit gets really messed up. So, they've got 30 days from the ruling to pay the fine. Okay, that's easy. $125 million. Ripple is known for a year that there was going to be a fine on primary sales, right? We knew about that because summary judgment happened in July of 2023. So Ripple's going to pay that. No one's worried about that. It appears that both sides are cool with the penalty. But what Bill is saying is that they're going to appeal the summary judgment. Ripple is going to appeal selling to primary institutions. And then the SEC would appeal secondary sales of XRP. Now this is where this gets funky, okay? So it's 30 days to pay the penalty. They have 60 days to appeal. 60 days to appeal puts them to Sunday, October 6th. We can't appeal on Sunday, so guess what? We're looking a little bit further out. Now here is really where things get messed up, okay? What is happening shortly after the election? Think of the timing, and that's why I brought up Polymarket. And again, no, this is not a stupid poll from a biased news thing. This is the money lines. There is over 60 million right now for Kamala Harris on the bet line. 60 million with a total of 566 million betting on this. So this isn't polls, this is betting money, okay? Here's the thing. If Trump gets in office, we know he's going to get rid of Gensler and the SEC, and he's going to clean house. Kamala gets in, guess what? She's going to keep Gensler and the crew there and keep things as the status quo. So 60 days for an appeal gets us darn close to election time in the United States. If Trump is way, way, way far ahead on the polls, why would the SEC appeal if Trump's going to come in and just start flushing people out? But if the SEC knows and feels that Kamala's chance to become president is growing and they can receive further protection, they will gladly appeal because the appeal would be happening during her first term. So this is all about timing, and Torres waited for the right amount of time so that 60 days from the date of the decision, which was August 7th, would bring us to early October. With less than a month away, the election. And the election is going to control what the SEC's vibe and stance is. Kamala, Biden, the Democrats as a whole, yes, there are some like Ro Khanna out there that are not, but the Democrats as a whole have been very anti-crypto. Look at Trump. Trump has been very pro-crypto. Yeah. So if Trump gets in, he cleans office. Kamala gets in, status quo. SEC's appeal depends on this right here, the political landscape. Why would you be the SEC, appeal it, knowing that you're going to lose your jobs like 30 days later if Trump wins? Think about that. That's messed up, everyone. So buckle on up because these next 60 days are going to be a wild ride, and it's all going to be about this, the money line when it comes to the election. All right, now let's get to XRP price talk, okay? We had some not so much fun here over the last few days, and let's do this. Let's swing it on over to the candlesticks and give us a 15-minute view. I love the 15-minute candlestick because it encompasses a little bit of time behind us, and it gives us the granular look as well. It's a good widespread thing with some good data points in here. So, Torres action, we saw that, rejected at 64. We hit our low right here on the 9th of August, and that low was at 56.5. We have since rebounded up, but look at this. We're facing that resistance again right at the 60-cent mark. More resistance is found at the 64-cent mark. We're also talking about whales manipulating the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin pulls the entire market up and down. That's why when I start off with the heat map, I try to give you a good visual of how the market is looking over the last 24 hours to see if anything is popping, dropping, hot, or not. So now when it comes to XRP, volume has pulled back heavily. I mean, very, very heavily. Interest, open interest is down as well. People out there are starting to think, well, wait a minute. We can't moon with XRP because we've got 60 days for an appeal, and we have no idea if both sides are going to appeal because we don't know if the SEC is going to be crypto friendly or not because the election is right around the bend. That is how much of a convoluted, messed up mess this is. And Torres, waiting for as long as she did, backs up the appeal deadline right before the United States elections. And the president appoints who's going to be the head of the SEC. And the president sets the tone on whether crypto policy is going to be good or bad in the United States. Coincidence between the appeal date and the election date? Girlfriend, not a chance in hell. So now you got to ask yourself, are you willing to wait the 60 days? Are you willing to wait the approximate 90 days for the election on Tuesday, November 5th? Now, volume open interest has dramatically gone down. In fact, last 24 hours, volume now is down 53% to $1.2 billion. The good news, though, for XRP fans is this. We've held above the 58-cent mark for a little bit here, and right now we're knocking on the door of 60 cents. We haven't lost our support completely, but at the same time, we're getting some massive resistance here at 64 cents. What's really scary about this, and again, this all goes with coincidences. This is why I'm sharing this with you. The rejection we had right here at 64 cents, the rejection we had right here with Torres and her 64 cents is right at the same levels that we got right before the Torres pump right here. Check it out. Right at that 64, 65 cent mark is where we were rejected when the Torres FOMO started in the first place. And if I zoom out to the one-day candlestick and show you the resistance levels, look at this. We hit it right here. This was the FOMO right before this move right here. And look, 64 cents has been the pullback. Market manipulation, waiting 60 days, waiting 90 days. I go back to your comments and say this. XRP and the decision is disappointing. They say buy the dip. That's all we see. It's manipulation. Rudy Poo's huge news, tiny price, and Trucker Trash saying utility becomes a value driver. The manipulation will cease. The manipulation will not cease. There's always going to be manipulation, but will we get the clarity we need in the next 60 days or with the election in the next 90 days? Shenanigans? Yeah. Skullduggery? Yeah. Shittiness? Yeah. Manipulation? You bet your butt across the globe. That's why the crypto markets are such a mess, because they're rife with manipulation and speculation that is just way, way, way overboard. Just like all those players out there going, oh, don't worry, you're going to wake up and see XRP at $125. No, you're not. The market is obviously holding it down, and now we have to wait. Torres waiting for as long as she did puts a lot of pressure on the presidential election and the timing of it. It's not coincidence, everyone. This was done on purpose. And with the first story that I shared with you regarding Bitcoin and manipulation with the order books, trying to make it seem like juicy action isn't there, it goes right in line with exactly what's been happening with this entire story. Manipulation, Gare Bear and his friends getting away with it whatever they want, and our hope is getting rid of the SEC, the leadership that's there, and the only way that that happens is if Trump gets voted in, but right now the money lines, not the polls, Seriously, if I see y'all in the comments saying, bro, don't trust the polls, these aren't the fucking polls, these are the money lines. The money lines right now are saying Kamala is going to win. The money lines, over $500 million on one website. $500 million on one website. So now the SEC is going to watch the numbers. And the strategists are going to go, well, hey, if Kamala gets the election, fuck yeah, let's appeal and let's wreck them bastards to the ground. That's the atmosphere we're sitting right now in the United States. And what's sad about that is it's affecting all of you, even you that do not live in the United States. So there you go. Geopolitical bullshit from the United States having effect on the rest of the globe when it shouldn't. Happy Saturday, everyone. Choo-choo, bitches. I'm about to do a long run in obsessive heat, 103 heat index. This is gonna suck.